sacred oath to the Golden Throne and eliminate threats to the Imperium, which the Coronis Expanse has in abundance. His name is Achilles Scalander. As soon as we contact Argonis, I will introduce you as the new head of the dynasty. I'm sure you'll appreciate the presence of such an advisor among your subjects, and I suggest you heed his words at least occasionally. We already met him. The Lord Inquisitor mentioned in his letter he is willing to show lenience toward my actions that would otherwise be interpreted as radical. Heinrich nods. That is correct. I should show greater tolerance for the mistakes of a newly appointed rogue trader. To be frank, I am surprised. The Lord Inquisitor is not the type to indulge the weakness of soul and mind, even in someone who only recently accepted the burden of a lofty title. A chaos cult in my protectorate. Heinrich, are you laying an accusation against my dynasty? Chaos treads softly, Muck von Luck. The main danger of secret cults and sects is that they are like seeds. They can remain in the ground for decades, safe from all scrutiny, until an opportunity to sprout, grow, and bear monstrous fruit presents itself. The emergence of a cult on one of the Rogue Traders' planets does not mean the dynasty head himself is a Chaos worshipper. Having said that, it should be noted that Theodora von Valancius was famous for her loose interpretation of the freedoms granted by the warrant. Just watching Chip bounce around. Heinrichs regards you with a probing look. A bloodline can be stained by ancestral transgressions. If it is indeed so, it is in your best interest to do whatever necessary to redeem yourself. And then perhaps you will get a chance to salvage your dynasty's reputation. I want to know more about this cult of the Final Dawn. Chaos worshippers. Most often, agents of the throne run into lone renegades stirring up the rabble. Insane prophets and hysteric visionaries preaching the end of days. A passing comet, a mutant rebellion, an onslaught of monsters. Each time they come up with a new reason why people should prostrate themselves and quiver in fear. Much effort and blood of those loyal to the... Whoa. Hi. One sec. What's up? Why? I'm being good to you. Oh my gosh. Just come up, lay down next to me, chomp hand, refuses to elaborate, leaves. Okay. Each time they come up with a new reason why people should prostrate themselves and quiver in fear. Much effort and the blood of those loyal to the Golden Throne were spent before we established the connection between those heretics. However, the cult of the Final Dawn is something greater than a gaggle of misguided seers and fortune tellers. They cleverly spread their agents all over the Coronis Expanse, disseminating heresy amongst honest people on the Imperial worlds. There's a certain strategy to their actions that changes wherever we get too close. And finally, they have enough military power to have had the two ships that we had sent after them later discovered as wreckage. The growing difficulty in making warp jumps is detrimental to us, but is unlikely to inconvenience those who engage in vile sorcery day in and day out. He sighs. After the events on Rykad Minoris, I suspect the cult might have built its nest inside Winterscale's domain, but the latest reports indicate that it is your protectorate harboring heretics. Being in your entourage improves my chances of getting closer to these secrets. I have already agreed to give you a place aboard my ship. What else? The rogue trader should deliver me to the system that contains the industrial world of Kiava Gamma. I will then accompany you to the surface and determine what the cult is planning and how it intends to use the resources that have fallen into their clutches, which may very well include the blessed engines of the Adeptus Mechanicus and even the followers of the Omnissiah themselves. I will be frank, the answer to this question is unlikely to please either of us. The machinations of chaos usually go beyond solely inflicting countless deaths and destruction. Having their plans come to fruition would lead to far more terrible consequences. One of the systems of the Coronis Expanse is already lost. May the Emperor protect us from watching this tragedy play out again. We met a Chaos Space Marine on Rykad Minoris. Do we risk running into his brothers? Yeah, oh my god, that was a fight. I have no doubt it will happen sooner or later. Muck von Luck, Chaos Marines siding with the cult is very, very bad news. Most likely they kept away until recently, pulling the puppet strings from a respectable distance. These traitors seldom show up alone. The best we can count on is having to deal with just a squad of Chaos Space Marines in the Coronis Expanse and not an entire company. Why did your suspicion fall on Kiava Gamma? Disjointed pieces of data that finally merged into a single picture. Additionally, not long ago, a vessel from that world arrived on Footfall. The reports from the crew were confused and alarming, making me fear a planet-wide rebellion. I won't let anyone throw their weight around on my worlds, be they servants of chaos, Xenos, or heretics. A commendable aspiration for a person who holds the fate of billions of people and dozens of imperial worlds in his hands, which is why you need to be ever more vigilant when looking for seeds of corruption on your planets, lest they sprout someday and spell doom for whatever is tangled up in their roots. That is enough discussion about the arch-enemy's servants. Tell me about the Drukhari who stole Raikad's son. He winces. The Drukhari, one of the branches of the Eldari, an ancient and vicious Xenos race. These creatures are a living terror to ordinary people who fall prey to their raids. For the simple reason that their victims are not killed outright, but instead become their playthings. Just as you and I need air to breathe, the Drukhari require psychic energy born from torment and pain, which they extract from their captives with uncanny expertise. Their ships, which are difficult to mistake for any other, arrive suddenly and undetected. Their stealth technologies greatly surpass the capabilities of standard Imperium Augur arrays. Their objective of their raids is never to capture a world or a ship. No, they are only interested in fresh victims. After filling their hold with living captives, they disappear into the Webway, a different dimension which conceals their greatest stronghold, Komarog, the dark city of the Drukhari, from which none can hope to escape. There was some other game I played that had stuff with the Webway, and there was like a, what's it called? The Black Library was in it? Like somewhere in the Webway is like this thing called the Black Library that just has like tons of knowledge, but humans for the most part do not know how to get there. Heinrich studies your expression. I do not know why the Drukhari stole Raikad's son and brought about the fulfillment of the cult's prophecies. Perhaps the Xenos themselves have played into the arch-enemy's designs, or perhaps Aurora's divinations in fact ascribe the Drukhari's actions. There is only one thing I can say with absolute certainty. There is no alliance between the Cult of the Final Dawn and the Xenos. It is simply impossible. Correct, it is guarded by Harlequins. I must go about my business. Is there anything else I need to know? Let me put it this way. You may think whatever you want of me, but my goal is not to hinder you. I'm here to help you in the fight against foes you may not even be aware of. You have my word that I will provide every assistance in uprooting the heresy that has sprouted on the Von Valancius worlds while their master was away, and that I will try to be more patient with the less grievous flaws the bearers of the warrant are sometimes known to have. Heinrich inclines his head. Thank you for sparing the time, Lord Captain. He's like, I'll try not to kill you for the little things. Back to the bridge. Alright. Cassia. Quick save.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
I have heard rumors you are not getting along well with the crew. But whoa! Panic flashes in her ruby red eyes, and your heart starts beating a little faster while your hands grow cold. Okay, so I think she's doing that thing where she's experiencing an emotion really sharply, and it's hitting everyone around her.
Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants?
What? Let us go to my study. No one will disturb us there.
Then lead the way, and I will answer all of your questions.
Our third trip to my office in like 10 minutes. Benchi says at Mukluk. Wait, what is this? Looking back through 2023 and 2024. Posted by Ruby Bear. A year to remember. Is this different from the other thing? Hold on. I had this open that I haven't covered yet. The Guild Wars 2 Q&A, switch to yearly expansions thing. I guess this is different. Was this just posted today? 28 minutes ago. Huh. Cool. Thank you for sending me that. I'll take a look at it, see if it's something I want to cover. What is it you wanted to talk about, Lord Captain? I have nothing to say to your unfounded accusations about my conflicts with the crew. I cannot recall my having a single quarrel with any of your people during my entire time aboard. The messenger you rebuked butchered his own family and then killed himself. I haven't rebuked a single errand boy on this ship. He ponders for a moment. Ah, I think I remember. A kind young man with a shy smile and skillful fingers with too much rotten ochre on his shoulders. I grew tired of the disgusting color and advised him to lighten his burden by casting the weight off his shoulders. He did not come to the next day, or ever again. Those words made him kill his whole family and then himself? During the warp voyage, you gave the wrong orders, which led to the vessel shifting off course and the service bay being destroyed. I saw something in the warp, something vast, predatory, shimmering with indescribable colors. It came from nowhere and stared at the ship with hundreds of hungry eyes right there in our path. I decided to change the course while it was still possible, but did not want to sow panic. Would it have been better to tell the crew we were heading straight into the monster's gaping maw? Would you mind telling me what you needed 100 species of bird for? Admittedly, I'm at a loss myself. The day we arrived on Footfall, I sent a request to the ship's quartermaster and asked him to get me a songbird. But he never asked for clarification, and shortly before we left, I had a countless number of cages delivered to me, all wrapped in bright red panic and flickering tints of fear. There was a bird in every one. I was so excited. I thought I would have 100 friends instead of just one. They were squeaking so piteously, I let the poor things out. I even fed them my breakfast and dinner, but the stupid birds would not stop chittering even after bedtime. They were dashing about the room, smacking me in the face, and defecating. I grew angry, and suddenly they started pecking at each other's eyes and attacking me. Then I became afraid, and they all fell over dead. I do not think I want to keep pets anymore. Propwatch says, I hear this game is a lot like BG3, but with a lot of reading. Is that the case? Yes. In BG3, this, like, a scene like this would have voice acting, and the characters would be talking to one another. But, you know, BG3 was basically a masterpiece for what it was, which took many, 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 many years to make. So, you know, BG3 was basically like the shiniest of classic RPGs you've ever seen. This is an excellent classic RPG, but yeah, there is reading. The officers are reluctant to be quartered next to your chambers because of the constant emotional outburst it causes them. Some even maim themselves and others. I already told you I cannot control my abilities. What else do you want from me? Will I be assigned a pariah chaperone, or will you put me into suppressing shackles? I've heard enough. Will you share your thoughts with me? You have a kind soul, but you have difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. That would be wonderful. My education on Yurak 5 was cut short, but I have realized by then that the wisdom of books is a poor substitute for the wisdom of experience. Very well, since we are done with this misunderstanding, I would like to change the subject. It would only be fair for me to ask you a few questions now, wouldn't it? She hesitates and continues in a less confident tone. Do not mistake me. I am not going to accuse you of anything. It's just that you are the most worthy interlocutor on the ship, and you're always so busy. I never promised I would give you answers. What would you like to ask? Is it possible that someone would not like Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, it's possible. I don't like NASCAR. Ooh, they're making a left turn. Ooh, there's anything you can think of. There's going to be people that like it and people that don't. I read a treatise by Passius de Mobius very recently, who claimed that subjects would never believe their new ruler was better than the old one, unless the old one was a tyrant. No matter the circumstances, the lowborn rabble become deluded about their prospects and rebel in favor of their base desires. What do you make of that? Your interpretation of this classical text is not entirely correct. If the subjects have grown accustomed to the ruling house, all the sovereign must do is refrain from breaching long-standing traditions. Adjust unwanted laws as gradually as you would shift the bed of a flooded river, and no one will ever take your power from you. She thinks for a moment and then smiles. Indeed, I was not wrong about your merits or your ability to hold a conversation. I hope my second question does not confound you either. According to the 20 tomes penned by the preacher Ostatak Istefan, the forgotten mercy and cruelty would go through the world hand in hand, but people flock only to one pan of the scales. Would you rather inspire fear in your followers or be magnanimous and choose awe? The one that I have the highest chance of succeeding is this one. One must be a tyrant, a friend, and a jester to one's subjects. What matters is that to clearly discern which role is required at a given moment. Oh, success. There's so much power in your words. Oh, power that makes me want to join you. I understand now why your subjects are eager to follow you. I admit I was afraid you were too different, and yet you helped me realize that I can be candid with you. Continue. I must confess that sometimes I can hardly bear the burden of the house has placed upon me. I feel I'm not doing my best. Tell me how you, heir to the Protectorate, can bear the responsibility for billions of lives a day after day and not stoop under all the weight. It is not always easy, but I try to lead the dynasty towards prosperity by any worthy means. Thank you for your patience, Muck von Luck. You are helping me to see the world in different colors, a novel experience for me. Our conversations hold a special place in my heart. Allow me to bid you farewell for now. I am heading back to my chambers to consider today's conversation. Okay. Leave my room for the third time. Just remix this stream and have acted scripts. Yeah, I do all the voice acting for the ladies. Hello, I am Cassia. I am amazing. Oh, Argenta wanted something. The Battle Sister.
Greetings.
Tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy.
That's how you say that word.
I beg your pardon, rogue trader. Here I am, talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
They say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words. More often than not with a bolter.
Sometimes with a gun. What order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
You say you brought to the Calixian branch of your order. What brought you to the Coronis Expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Mr. Wayne, the station's founder.
Are there any other members of the Adeptus Sororitas in the Coronis Expanse?
None that I'm aware of. but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her, for nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of fault and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor,
What?
eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
So to repent, you have to go into battle with a robe and a sword. And good luck to you. I have no more questions about your sisterhood.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
How did you end up on Theodora's ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
You mentioned making a mistake.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
We could go to that planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me. or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistic systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful.
Oh, I killed her. Actually, you killed her. I ordered you to do it.
Pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Yeah, when I finally decided, I just said, Argenta, do your duty. And Argenta said, blam. And Adira said, ah! No more questions, thank you.
As you wish.
Did that check it off? Argenta asked the road trader to talk with her on the ship. This errand is complete. Oh, okay. Atrium Footfall Furibundus. Alright. Okay. Chart new routes. Alright, it would... Yeah, that's too much. We'll go here in the back there. Another watch aboard the Void ship has come to an end. The Lord Captain, having given his final orders for the day, retired to his chambers for some divine rest. However, the rogue trader's slumber was disturbed by horrific nightmares plaguing his mind. Fate wrenched the Lord Captain out of the clutches of these astonishing warp dreams, only for him to witness the nightmares seeping through the flimsy membrane of the Geller field and take physical shape in the ship's sanctum sanctorum. To battle. Damage taken. Rock the boat. 6. Rock the boat!
There will be
Oh, God.
no peace in my wastelands.
You will fall.
I am very outnumbered. This is a lot of people and demons. Bro, there's no way.
I am unsatisfied.
My guy's a support. There's so many enemies. Dude, I better have backup show up, like, real soon.
Pain is but an illusion.
Abelard's here. Yes, yes, yes. I knew it. I knew it. I was like, there is no way.
I will do my duty.
Oh, nice job, Happy Baby.
Indeed.
To the brink
It
of
will be done.
agony.